probably out here saying, why do you come back to Brown? This is a private institution, like what is the community going to be able to do? And I just want to say that in the face of public pressure, we can also force Brown to divest. This is the history. This is the history of the South African apartheid divestment campaign happened here at Brown. And the reason why we're here is because Brown is the largest property owner, I think, in the state, if not the largest, then the second largest. It's also one of the largest corporate bodies in the state of Rhode Island. So a lot of power comes out of here. A lot of people come out of here and go on to fill, offices and positions of power in our state and in our country. So if we can't divest at Brown, well, then we're not going to divest the pension fund at the state level, but we should do both. We need to push divestment at the local level in our institutions, in our universities, in our city councils, in our state governments, all across this country and all across Rhode Island. So if you are a student, please join your local Students for Justice in Palestine or Jewish Voice for Peace chapter. If there isn't one, make one. It only takes one person, maybe two. And actually, if you want to learn more about that, talk to Aya, because she was the one person that founded RISD SJP. If you're a resident in this city, do not be afraid to speak up against institutions like Brown. Join us in the fight against senators like Jack Reed, and push your state government, your local government, and your federal representation to actually represent us and divest and sanction and boycott the state of Israel. And so I want to just end us off on that note. We're going to pass it off to another organizer here for a quick announcement. But next week, there's going to be more rallies and marches for Palestine. They're going to be announced likely either Friday and or Saturday. So keep your eyes posted for that. And please, if you see something, share it on social media. Put it on your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram. They can't ban us all. And I'm going to hand it off here, and then we'll close after that. Thank you all so much.
Hi all, my name is Jordan. I'm an organizer with the Behind the Walls Committee, which is a committee in Providence made up of people who've either been locked up, as in like spent time in prison, been incarcerated, or have family members, so directly impacted people. If you identify as that, please say what's up afterwards. I'll let you know when we meet and where. But a couple nights ago, there was a shooting in Providence. Like Sammy talked about, Brown is literally a plague to this city. It's destroyed it in more ways than I can really get into. But essentially, 3 young people, 18 and 19, were in critical condition and went to the hospital. None of the families were notified. So namely, these people's parents, mothers, all they heard was that their child was in critical condition, but they're being treated as criminals because it's a gang-related incident. And so they just don't know if they're all right. Last time I checked, one of them had been unconscious since the time they took him in, which means he wasn't awake to be arraigned or to be read his rights. And so he's not really in police custody, but essentially the hospital is just forcing it so that no one can see them until they've investigated them.
Shame.
So, yeah.
Who does that sound like?
Israel. Sorry, I'm slow. But, so we're going to be there. It's 2 Dudley Street. We're going to be there from 12 to 6. And, I mean it when I say this. If everyone shows up, I really think these families will at least get to see their children. So, these are 18, 9-year-old people. 18 and 19-year-olds. Riddled with bullets, just sitting in hospital beds, not able to hold their parents' hand. I don't really need to go on into, the criminalization of black people. There is one quote I wanted to read from George Jackson just to bring it back, because we're here for Palestine and the Palestinian people. The struggles are related. We are in the belly of the beast. The U.S. empire is failing, and if we destroy it, not only Palestine, but the rest of the world really, really will be free. We're on its way to freedom. In 1967, there was it might not be 67, there was a 6-day war where Israel finished its annexation of the territory it has right now. It gained Gaza and the West Bank. But the purpose of the war was to destabilize Syria and Jordan and Egypt. The U.S. feared that Syria was going to be the new Cuba. Point being, what U.S. fears most is socialist revolution, pan-Arabism, pan-Africanism, the united oppressed people of the world. That is the most dangerous thing to this genocidal country. George Jackson says, what does he say? As a slave, the social phenomenon that engages my full consciousness is, of course, revolution. He goes on to say that revolution needs to be love-based, like Lily said earlier. And so there are people essentially every day who wake up in Providence and they don't have a choice about violence. Police kick in their doors and point guns at the heads of like 9-year-old children. So I think we really do need to support those people. I can only speak for myself. I'm separated from that violence. That violence doesn't find me every day. That's the urgency of revolution, because for some people, there's no waiting on violence. You can ask any Palestinian right now. So power to all the Palestinian people. Thank you all so much. I hope to see you guys at 2 Dudley Street, Rhode Island Hospital. It's on DARE, Direct Action for Rights and Equality. Their Facebook is DARE, their Instagram is DARE PVD. All the support would really go a long way. But yeah,
What day?
tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
And then we're going to keep going, because right now they said you get a 20-minute visit one time. The demand is that these families get to see their children for the duration of their stay in the hospital. And that they get transparency, because the hospital is clearly colluding with the cops, hiding information, again, treating these people as criminals. So thank you all so much. Sorry I spoke for so long. All power to the Palestinians.
We're gonna close out with some quick chants. This one is, what do we want? So what do we want justice when we want it now? If we don't get it, shut it down. And the shut it down part is repeated twice. What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! If we don't get it, shut it down! We don't get it, shut it down! Free, free Palestine! 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 This ongoing Nakba is going to continue, unfortunately, so we need to keep mobilizing, and I appreciate all of you coming out here. Please plug into your local organizing, get involved, come talk to us, we're really nice. Yeah, thank you all so much. I hope everyone has a great night. Please be safe. Yeah!